fixed now. I think I got it fixed now. Like, I've never felt this way about a person leaving. Never. Like, I ain't never, bro. This hit different, man. This hits different. Like, I ain't never felt this way, G. He's really gone, y'all. He's really gone. And as much as the signs was there, putting up his house, as much as you heard the rumors, you tried your best to block that out. You tried your best to ignore it. Yeah, man. The end. Where we go from here, we'll talk about that a little bit. But I think for the first few minutes or so of the stream, grieving process is real. Yeah, man. So Tom Brady, if you guys haven't heard the news, he's officially no longer going to be a New England Patriot. He put a post out on Instagram and Twitter and social media and stuff. Said that he will not be returning. His football journey will continue, but it will not be in New England. Now, we can see the writing was on the wall. People can say that you were a little blind to this. People can say it was clear. But you always just put a little bit of hope. You had out a little bit thinking that this was this he was going to come back for finish his career. And so now that his career is in New England, I should say, is done. That just leads us to some more issues. We have Jarrett Stidham, we have Cody Kessler. Do they feel like Jarrett Stidham's the answer? Me personally, I don't think Jarrett Stidham is the answer. I think Jarrett Stidham isn't really that good of a quarterback, or at least a starting quarterback as of right now. And the whole thing that I don't understand, and maybe it's just because, cap wise, they feel like that they still have a good nucleus of core. They feel like they still have a good team. And, Belichick's thing is always, hey, I'd rather get a player a year early than a year late. He's always talking about how it's bigger than the player. It's the system. And so now, Brady's whole thing was, and it's all about credit, it's all about egos. Brady was like, I want to be the guy. I want to be the person. My phone just keeps blowing up. Yeah, my phone just keeps blowing up. But he wanted to be the guy. He wanted to be, try to get out of there. And I think this separation or this divorce of a marriage, which I can quote unquote call the people calling it. I've said this before on Twitter. I've said this in my videos before. I said that, part of me wants Brady to leave. And a part of me is happy that he's leaving, not because from our perspective, for his perspective, because a lot of people don't think he's that good. A lot of people think he's washed. People have been banging that drum for like the past 5 years at least or so. And constantly just gets proven them wrong. And it just gets to the point where eventually if you keep proving, eventually if you keep banging that drum, you keep banging the same narrative that he's not going to do this, eventually you're going to be right. Eventually something's going to stick. And so I know since I was in middle school, high school, people tell me that Brady was going to retire soon. This is like in 2010, 2011. And, about 9 years later, he's still going strong. Last year was his best year. Obviously not. Was one of his worst years. You can argue that it's one of his worst years. But I feel like if you really looked at the team, you looked at the nucleus of weapon, who could have done the job that he did, him equally or better than Brady? So that's my whole mindset with this whole thing. Yeah, man. Tom Brady's no longer New England Patriot. Now let's talk about where we go from here. So, like I said, right now we have Jared Stidham, Cody Kessler as the quarterback options. Do we feel like does Belichick feel like Stidham is the guy? Does he feel like he can be the heir apparent? Obviously, he thought Jimmy G was the heir apparent, but as a and then they made the trade, they got rid of Jimmy G, and they wanted to get rid of Brady, I think, like 2 years ago or so. But I tell people this all the time: Brady won us a Super Bowl. Some people feel like Jimmy G could have won the Super Bowl. Some people feel like Jimmy G could have been fine. I mean, you saw what happened in the Super Bowl when it was time for him to throw the football. The money's on the line, and he couldn't do it. Not saying he couldn't do it in New England. Not saying he can't ever do it. But at least as of right now, I don't think he's ready for the Super Bowl. Now, you can look at this in a sense of we sacrificed potentially 10 years for 3. And in those 3 years, went to 2 Super Bowls, won 1. I mean, a lot of people will say that they'll give up 10 years for 1 Super Bowl. And we really put that to the test, and we got another Super Bowl out of it. A lot of teams don't even get a chance to go to 1. I know some people they've been to 1 Super Bowl, they never went back. Brady's been to 9. He's been to, I'm losing track. It's like 3 or 4, like in the past, like 5 years or so. So, so now we have Stidham, we have Kessler. We can look at Cam Newton potentially, Andy Dalton, Teddy Bridgewater. Those are some guys in the trade market that's been rumored to link towards us. Especially Andy Dalton, which I do not like Andy Dalton as a quarterback. I'm not saying I don't like him as a quarterback. He's decent, but I don't see him as the guy. Like, I don't see him as a guy to carry a Super Bowl caliber team. And again, with all these contracts, the way it's set up, maybe the Patriots are just like, you know what? We got a lot of these guys on the books for the next year or 2 or so. We got, older guys. Let's go ahead, bring them back. Let's try to get 2 years out of them. And then let's try to go for like a Teddy Bridgewater or something. And let's see if we can do that. Now, out of the quarterbacks available without drafting one, my whole thing was you bring back Brady for 2 years. You bring back Brady for 2 years, and then you can potentially draft the quarterback, or you just let Stidham rock for like another 2 years, then you draft the quarterback after that. But if they're going to trade for a quarterback, which is potential, which is looking like it's apparent, out of the quarterbacks available, I wouldn't say Cam Newton just because of the injury factor, and Andy Dalton I'm not a fan of. So Teddy Bridgewater actually would be the guy for me, but I just know that is a lot of pressure to that's a lot of pressure to do when coming after Tom Brady. So like who the quarterback coming after Tom Brady is going to get compared to him. He's going to have a lot of pressure, and it's something that could potentially ruin a guy's confidence. The heck is that going on outside? But just again, we are in uncharted territory right now. Honestly, I just don't know how to feel, man. So I mean, those are our options. We can look at the draft. You can try to see if we can get a guy like a Jordan Love. His name's been rising up in the draft stock. Tua, I think he's still going to be a top 10 pick. But do the Patriots trade up for get Tua? Redshirt him for a year, and then maybe they go get Teddy Bridgewater, have Tua redshirt for a year, have Stidham with. I mean, the whole Stidham thing is what's kind of throwing a wrench in the plan, just because I think they like Stidham. I personally don't like Stidham. I don't think he's that good of a quarterback in terms of. I don't see him as a potential starter. And that could be wrong. It could be completely wrong about that. And I've been wrong about a lot of times before. Won't be the first, won't be the last. But yeah, man. So let me know your thoughts though. Like, let's start this dialogue, man. Brady goes down as obviously the GOAT. He's the greatest quarterback of all time. There's no debate about that. I don't care what you say about system. I don't care what you say about the scandals and stuff. Consistency, 20 years to do what he did, amidst all that, it's good. Then we need to get Teddy Bridgewater. He's still in his prime. Plus, he can bring some difference to the offense. Then, yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Out of the quarterbacks that are potentially like out there, I would say Teddy Bridgewater just because he was, I guess you could say he was entering his peak when he was with the Vikings, I should say. Then he got injured, and then he's kind of been trying to get back from his team like last year in the Saints. Although Trump Payne is a great offensive mind head coach, the Saints kind of helped him get confidence, kind of helped him revive his career. So, if he can continue something similar to that, I can see us using him. And again, his skill set is more apt, I would say, to do. We got guys who not necessarily are speed threats, but again, they are quick precision guys. Cam Newton, his accuracy isn't always the best. It's been inconsistent. Andy Dalton, I mean, that can kind of fit. But again, I just feel like Andy Dalton is a little bit older, and he has never shown me, especially in the big games. He's been in the playoffs multiple times, has not won one. It's folded in every big game. I personally do not like Andy Dalton. So Teddy Bridgewater would probably be the answer. Personally, I would rather us just draft a rookie, build up through there. But again, I understand that you're only bringing guys, but you have these guys on 2-year deals. You have a bunch of older guys. You necessarily don't want to go for a younger quarterback because then basically, essentially what you're saying is, this team is going to try to build around him. And I'm not saying you're necessarily wasting guys like Devin McCourty's 2 years or so, but you're not giving them just due for them, for everything that they did. You paid them a little bit, but in terms of going for a ring, going for winning a championship, I personally don't think that drafting a quarterback would do service for them because I feel like Belichick in his head, in his mind, he still thinks that this is a championship winning team. Although they don't have Tom Brady, he feels like if you bring in a quarterback or have Stidham, he feels like that they can win a championship. Now, again, 20 years is a long time for anything. 20 years of decade dominance. Won the division, been to the playoffs like 17 times, if I'm not mistaken, like 17, 18 times, something like that. And the crazy thing is Brady's played, this is his 21st year. He's really only played 19 because I don't count the ACL year that he had because he only played like one quarter, if that. So if you count the 19 years that he's been in the league, I think 17 of those he's made the playoffs. So right now, and I said this last year going into it, I was like, after the loss to the Ravens, I said we can still potentially win the Super Bowl. I always give us a 12% chance because of Tom Brady. And going in, we was limping into it last year. I'm just kind of upset that the last pass that Tom Brady threw was an interception. It wasn't necessarily his fault. It was, 30 seconds left, something like that. Down by one. You had to drive the length of the field to get a field goal. You had no timeouts left. He just threw a slant pass to Muhammad Sanu. He kind of ran a lazy route, got tipped up, and then Logan Ryan took for a pick six. And that was probably the last thing that people are going to remember Brady in New England. Now, I know right now, Patriot fans, Twitter, social media, all that stuff for the remainder of this offseason and probably going into next year. We'll see how everything plays out. But, for the remainder of this offseason going into next year, it's going to be a lot of people out there, man. You got to let the jokes fly, man. I'm probably going to participate in some of those jokes. But, yeah, man, this joint really hurts, man. Like people leave, come and go all the time. And, like, we've had star players leave, like when Randy Moss left. And I was a big Randy Moss fan. He's probably my favorite receiver outside of Fitz and Megatron of my life. Seeing him leave, I was I wasn't as attached. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. Whew, man, man. Like I'm legit fighting back tears, man. Like it's. I ain't gonna lie. I shed a thug tear when I heard the news. I like literally just got out the shower, was getting ready to go to work, and I heard the news, and I thought it was fake. You know what I mean? I didn't believe it. Let's see, yeah, 70 times in the postseason, except 2000, 2002, 2008. Yeah. Plus, how many postseason Super Bowl is this year? Facts. He's accomplished a lot, man. He's the GOAT, man. Like, there's nothing you can take away from him. Like, He's the undisputed GOAT. The undisputed GOAT. But yeah, 2000, 2002. So I remember after the first Super Bowl, we didn't make the playoffs. But yeah, 2008. So yeah, if you look at it in Brady's 20-year career, you can say 19 if you don't want to count the 2008. He's only missed the playoffs 2 times. Only missed the playoffs twice. Just keep that in mind. Twice. And both of those times was early in his career. Dolphins or Bucks. It said. Nah, I thought it was the Chargers. I didn't see nothing about the Dolphins. I didn't see nothing about the Dolphins. Robert Kraft to ESPN said, Tom initiated contact last night and came over. We had a positive, respectful discussion. It's not the way I wanted to end, but I want him to do what is in the best personal interest. After 20 years with us, he has earned that right. I love him like a son. Yeah, I'm just kind of reading some of the stuff. The past stance was Rapport said the past stance was the same. What does Tom Brady want to do? Does he want to come back? It's just where he thinks the best place to win. When he never came back, that was where it stood. Brady posted his goodbye. Mm-hmm. And again, um, yeah, Jameis Winston's another guy too. I forgot to mention. Yeah, I was gonna say the Dolphins. They throwing a bag at everybody else, and they about to draft I think 2 quarterback. So I don't think they're gonna really know what to do. Knew he wasn't coming back. I don't blame him the way we treated him. See, that's the thing. Like a part of me is like happy that he didn't come back because I want him to succeed somewhere else. I want him to show everybody else that he can do it on his own. That he can succeed on his own. But it's just it just hurts that he went that it just ended like to me it was like no closure. Like I'm not saying he should have left after the Rams Super Bowl. I'm saying like it just felt like last year was just so eerie and you could say it's writing on the wall. You could say I was naive, but he's still going to count towards $13 million against the cap next year. Like it's the way his contract was set up. And typically it's like that. It's kind of hard to get that. So now we're kind of strapped against the cap a little bit, man. We're strapped against the cap. The tagging with Joe Thuney was potentially to use for a trade, potentially to just keep him around. We wasn't going to be able to bring back Kyle Van Noy. Jamie Collins, I didn't think he was going to get that big of a deal. This only sucks, man. Like, so now let's look at it from Tom Brady's perspective. Okay, he's not coming back. He's not coming back. Ship sailed. Not New England. Los Angeles Chargers or the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Which one would I want him to go to? Me personally, looking at everything, how things are built, how things are constructed, whoever really has the better offensive line, I would say he should go to. Now, the Chargers, they have Bosa. They have Ingram. They have what's the safety guy? They have Derwin James. Their defense is top notch. I'm not necessarily sure about their offensive line. I know they have weapons on offense. Keenan Allen. You got a Mike Williams. You got a Hunter Henry. They just got Austin Eckler back. The Buccaneers, though, Bruce Arians, though, is a wizard, man. He's a QB wizard. You saw what he did to Carson Palmer's career. You saw what he was doing with the Colts before he left. They have Mike Evans, who's a god top 5 receiver. You got Chris Godwin, too, speedster. He can get it going. Who's their running back? I can't even think. I was about to say Doug Martin, but it's not Doug Martin. They got like a committee. Isn't it like Ronald Jones or something like that? But their defense, they got Shaq Barrett, who was the top leadest sack person. Excuse me, top sack person on defense. Yeah. So a part of me wants him to go to Tampa Bay, and they also got Jason Pierre-Paul too. I forgot to mention that. Part of me wants him to go to Tampa Bay because I feel like Bruce Arians and that offense is just will be so deadly. But again, Los Angeles, you got more weapons. Excuse me. I feel like they probably have better defense than them. But I'm not necessarily so sure on the offense side of things. But we'll see. Let's see. I know what you're trying to say. The way Bill handled it the past 2 years and draft to me, I would love. Yeah, man. Like, a part of me was just like, maybe not necessarily they'll work it out, but they'll get through it. Tom Brady's like, he not necessarily wants to leave New England. Built a home, built a family there. But him putting his house up on the market was like one of the telling signs that people were talking about it the whole year. But again, a part of me just kind of left out hope. It was more so just leaving that hope. But from what this is saying, from what I've been reading from the reports and stuff and the sources, this decision is on Tom Brady. The Patriots stance was, we want you back if you want to come back. They necessarily initiated one of them back. And I think that was one of the biggest things about, I think that was one of the biggest things that Brady probably didn't necessarily like. He wanted to feel appreciated. He wanted to feel like he was sought after and stuff after everything he's done for the team. And that necessarily wasn't the case towards the end. That wasn't the feelings Belichick had. I think he was a little upset that Belichick took a liking to Jimmy Garoppolo. And some people can say Bill Belichick the past few years have been trying to sell Tom Brady to get him out of there. That's why we go to an equal Super Bowl. And although Malcolm Butler doesn't play or doesn't start, doesn't even play at all in the game, only plays like 2-3 snaps on special teams. Some people say that Belichick stole that Super Bowl. I personally think that Belichick, I don't know what it was, but you can't tell me that Eric Rowe was a better option than Malcolm Butler in the scheme of things. And also, you can't tell me that after the first half, even if you didn't want to play Malcolm Butler, you really wanted to win, you need to put Malcolm Butler on the field. He was our best cornerback that year. He was our all-pro corner the year before. He was a Pro Bowler that year. And you don't play him at all in the Super Bowl. Like, that's one of those, and maybe the truth will come out. Maybe the truth, years down the line, come out and Butler was miraculously injured or something happened. I don't know what it was. Something happened. And people were saying that he got caught with weed, and that was Belichick's way of punishing him. And something happened. But yeah, man, this news hits very upsetting. I got a Tom Brady fat head over here, and this is going to be one of the worst. There we go. That's a little better. I would have to do those blinds back there to fix that, but I ain't gonna do all that, man. But actually, now it's dark. I can tell this is the first time that I've streamed in a minute with this camera. Actually, normally I'm streaming on my phone, but this one I had to pull out the actual Logitech. I had to get the mic set up. I had to get all that ready. So, where it is, he cussed out his son. That Malcolm Butler cussed out Belichick's son? Really? It's weird. Somebody said they gave Tom a number. He didn't want it. Also, too, remember, he loves Antonio Brown. So, does this mean wherever Brady goes, AB follows him? Because that's the case. Man, well then, how's AB gonna fit? Like, is he gonna take less money? Like, what's gonna happen? Brady taking about $30 million a year. Man. Boy, oh boy, man. I will say I'm glad that I got to see him play for the Patriots a few times. One time was when I was younger. It was during the 2007 season. Went to Dallas. Both teams are undefeated. 2020 can cut it up, but yeah, man, this year is trash, man. Even before this Brady news, this year was trash, but with this Brady news, this year is trash. Let's go ahead and you in the comment section right now. Let's talk about some of your favorite Tom Brady moments right now. I mean, as Patriot fans, there's a lot of people who's going to say that we're going to jump ship. I'm still going to be here. As you see the shirt, still here. I'm right here, still here. I'm still going to be a Patriot fan. That's my squad. However, one of the main reasons why I like the Patriots was because of Tom Brady. And now that he's gone, I'm still going to rock the Patriots. It's still my squad. But I will be following whoever he goes to. Not necessarily like I'm going to be a fan. I'm going to be a Tom Brady fan. Whatever team he goes to, I'm going to root for that. But yeah. If it's the Chargers, if it's the Buccaneers, unless they're playing the Patriots, I'm rooting for them. I'm going to watch every game that they have, and I'm going to continue following the same here. But it's going to be hard watch, especially. But don't say that. I hate that. Don't say. But yeah, man, it's really going to be difficult. Yeah, but what are y'all favorite Tom Brady moments? If I had to pick some of my favorite Brady moments, I would have to say the Super Bowl against Atlanta. I'm sorry. Super Bowl against the Seahawks was one of my favorite ones. Saw his first game as a starter, first Brady Manning game. Love that game. Me as a Patriot fan since 1978, here before time, still here after the fact. So I'm feeling that. I mean, I'm 22 years old, so all I knew was Tom Brady growing up. You know what I'm saying? That that was the reason why I liked the Patriots. I was playing Madden and stuff. I was winning with the Patriots, and then it was Tom Brady was the quarterback. One of the best quarterbacks in the game. Started watching him in real life, and he was just killing it. So I became a Patriot fan because of Tom Brady. So this really this really hits. So, but I'm still gonna be here though. I'm still gonna be a Patriot fan, man. I actually have a poster, and I have a poster actually, and I don't feel like getting it because I got to get up and take it down and stuff. But I'm in the process of moving and everything. That's kind of why it looks all junky right now. I'm just trying to get stuff together, moving out my apartment by the end of the month. But yeah, like I have a poster. It had Gerard Mayo, it had Hightower, it had McCourty, had Gronk, had Edelman, had Brady. And now the only ones remaining on that list is Edelman, McCourty, and Hightower. Like I said, my moments would probably say yeah. Give me your 3 moments, Shiz. So we can do a top 3 moments. Let's do a top 3 moments in the chat right now. Yeah, Matthew Slater's back. I mean, him and Devin McCourty, that's cool. But that was part of the reason why I thought they was gonna bring Brady back, because they signed him back for 2 years, and it seemed like the Patriots window now was like 2 years. So I was like, Brady said he's gonna play 2 more years. So maybe they'll be like, you know what? We got 2 years. We're gonna sign Brady. Let's ride this thing out. Let's figure out what we're gonna do. The Brady Snow game against the Titans, the Atlanta Super Bowl, and the Broncos game were, yeah, all great moments. And see, that's the crazy thing too. When I start talking about my favorite Brady moments, like I start talking about one like that. Like you brought up the Broncos game where he came back. I remember that game. I remember Sunday night, I was supposed to go to sleep. I was supposed to be in bed, getting ready for school. But I convinced my parents, like, yo, like if I'm not that loud, can I finish watching the game? And they was like, oh, this game about to be a blowout, all that stuff. And then they started coming back. And I was like, yo, can I stay out? It was like, all right, you can stay up, but if it gets out of hand, I was like, okay. And then they keep going. And it kept happening. I'm just like, yo, like, this is crazy. Like, he really came back. And then I was thinking about the Saints game. The Saints in the regular season, the Kimbrough Tompkins game, when where Unicorn Show Pony, where's the beef? That game. I remember. I pretty much remember that. I was supposed to go outside, play with my friends. I was like, "Nah, the Patriots on. I can't do that. They got to focus on the Patriots." But the comeback versus the Broncos, man, in 2005. Yeah, okay, yeah. I didn't talk about now. Yeah, Super Bowl 49, Super Bowl 51. Yeah, man. Like, I think Super Bowl 49 hit me more because I told people, I said, once he ties Montana, we can call him officially the GOAT. He tied him, and I was like, all right, I can call him the GOAT now, and not think much of it. Then when he beat Atlanta, I was like, he's definitely the GOAT. Like, and people was like, no. So I was like, you know what? If you want to do that, cool. You want to argue that? Cool. After the sixth Super Bowl, I was like, look, at this point, ain't nothing you can do. I mean, really, after the Falcons Super Bowl, there's nothing you can do. But after the Eagles Super Bowl, then after the Rams Super Bowl, like, the resume is just so much. The gap is so much. You can't deny it. But yeah, another that snow game get the Titans, man. We blew them out. That was fun. Even the comeback against the Jags recently, that was a good one. I remember, oh man, them Brady Manning games was just so lit, man. Like, that was always prime time. I remember the which game was it? The what was the game that we almost lost to in the undefeated season? Towards the end, we had to come back. The Bills. That's what was the Bills. I think Randy Moss had a game time touchdown in the fourth quarter with like 10 seconds on something like that. Yeah. The first comeback, that game was litty. I remember that. That playoff game where we came back against them. That game right there. Yeah, that was a lit one right there. Which Giants game? The Week 17 one? You talking about the Week 17 one? Why are you very happy now? Are you a Patriots fan? That's Ravens. That's what it was. It was. Well, no, we almost lost to the Bills too, if I'm not mistaken. But that Ravens game, that was a tough one. Or was it? Or am I thinking of the? I am thinking of. Right? I'm thinking of the Ravens game. I'm thinking of the Ravens game because I remember. I remember when the Brady was rolling out to the right, threw it to the back right of the end zone. Mars caught it, toe tap falling out of bounds. I don't know how we got in bounds. I remember the on the Cincinnati game. I remember that game on the Cincinnati. That was a crazy game. Yeah. The 24th. If I had to pick top 3 on, I'll say that 2014 season was just so magical. That 2014 Ravens game in the playoffs, Julian Edelman, the double pass, the Steelers game where Randy Moss, where we did a double pass. Brady threw it to Moss threw it back to Brady. He threw it deep to, I believe it was Jabbar Gaffney was the one who caught it, if I'm not mistaken. I think it was Jabbar Gaffney. Yeah, I know what I'm talking about. But I think it was Jabbar Gaffney who was the one that caught it. Yeah, that game. It's just so many moments that you can pick from. And maybe I'll do maybe it's only right now that I do a top of it. Yo, Brady shook earlier again with the Thanksgiving game. Remember when we played the Detroit Lions? That was a pretty good game too. I remember that. Man, it's just a lot of memories that you can take from this Brady era. I kind of attached myself more with the older that I got, because even though I was still young, I necessarily couldn't pick and choose when I could watch the Patriots game because we only had like a few TVs back then when I was younger, and most of the time my dad was a Cowboy fan. Most of the time if football was on, we're going to watch the Cowboy game. So as I got older, and then eventually I was able to have my TV and stuff, and I could control kind of what I watched. It was then I became it was Patriots. So because I was able to see those moments and remember those moments. But yeah, I do remember that Chargers comeback. I do remember the Urlacher shake. I do remember some of the older stuff too. That Super Bowl against the Carolina Panthers, that was a pretty big one. I vividly remember that game. Like, that was crazy. No, I'm a Steelers fan, so we both have common. 6 trophies in the ring. So glad Brady. So glad the next team. Wait, we have 6 trophies in the ring. So good luck to Brady, the next team. You be super trash. Are you talking about the Patriots? I mean, something like that. Yeah. Oh, the guaranteed game. Yo. Yo, when they guaranteed her, Brady came down through that dot to a touchdown, walked right up to the safety and was just like, yeah, I remember you was talking. Oh man. It's so many great moments, y'all. Like, he really gone, G. He's really gone. Like, oh man. So, and there was bad times, obviously, but we just gonna remember the good times, like, you know. So after this is all said and done, after the career that he's laid out, let's the Chiefs versus the AFC Championship game, man. Like, that was so great. I remember the Seahawks Super Bowl. I will never forget it because we were down 10 in the fourth quarter, and I was just like, yo, please just let this happen. That 3rd and 14, man, I was like, once that 3rd and 14 happened, I ain't gonna lie. Once that 3rd and 14 happened, I am not going to lie. First to win versus the Rams, the last drive. Yeah, I was a little young, but I like I said, I remember the Panthers one specifically. The Rams one, I somewhat remember it because I just know that I was watching Super Bowl. But that Panthers one, like, I remember that vividly. Like, excuse me, I remember. Ooh, that one really hit home. But yeah, the Rams one. But I could just remember that Seahawks though, 3rd and 14, like that when that drive started. I didn't sit down until the game was over. Like, until like way after the game was over. Like, I just remember me just standing up, and I tried to sit down. I couldn't. When the curse catch happened, I was like, and it was just kept reviewing. I was like, I was just pacing back and forth. I tried to sit down. I couldn't do it. Then Malcolm Butler got the interception, and when Malcolm Butler got the interception, I was living in an apartment at the time. I ran. It was 2 flights. I ran down and up 2 flights of stairs. Didn't even hesitate to think. Like, literally, like, I guess the door was unlocked or something. I think my dad wanted to go get something for the car. Well, I don't know what it was, but I literally, as soon as that pick happened and I saw him catch it, and it was like Malcolm Butler unreal. I just remember I took off. Like, I just remember I was like, oh, and then my dad was like, the people downstairs, and I literally just took off, left, ran down the stairs, ran back up, just screaming, just like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. That was man. The Broncos game, we was down 24. Yeah, we was just talking about that, man. They'll come back with Welker from the fumble the punt, or muffed it, I should say. And like I said, I remember I was supposed to be asleep. I had school the next day, and I was like, let me stay up. I convinced my parents I was doing good. It was like, all right, you can stay up, and that happened. Who are we looking at a quarterback? We need to get a good one ASAP. So right now, I think the plan is to either go forward with Stidham, Bridgewater, Cam, or Dalton. Go for trade for those. Cam is on the last year of his deal. Dalton, what's Danny Dalton's contract? I think Dalton has 2 more years left. Let me see. But I know Cam has 1 year left on his deal, and Teddy Bridgewater is a free agent. Andy Dalton has been linked to Chicago, though. So let me go see real quick. Andy Dalton's contract. I think does he have 1 more year left? Or I think he has 1 more year left, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, he has 1 more year left. Yep. So he's on a one. He has 1 more year left. And Cam has 1 more year left. And so Bridgewater, he's a free agent. So maybe they'll sign him to a 2-year deal. But like I said, a lot of these contracts that we're signing to people to was like 2-year deals. So it makes me believe that, they're going for a 2-year window. So that's why a guy like an Andy Dalton and a Cam Newton, they'll be guys to bring in. Or if they think Stidham's ready, they keep Stidham. I'm not sure if I want Cam here. Dalton is good. Just not. Yeah, this thing. I don't think Cam fits our system. So I necessarily wouldn't want him here for that reason. If he comes, I don't have a problem with Cam Newton. He was an MVP. I think he's a pretty good quarterback. I just think for us, for the system, I don't think he's necessarily the answer. Andy Dalton, I do not like Andy Dalton at all. I think he's okay. Is he a starter quarterback in the NFL? Yes. But our quarterback, no. I've seen him in big games. He can't get the job done. Teddy Bridgewater, though, was entering his prime. I think he was starting to get the stuff going, and then just ended up getting hurt. So we necessarily don't know how good Teddy Bridgewater is in these big games because he never really got the opportunity to. I mean, he was when he was in Minnesota. But remember, there was going to be the Seahawks and the whole kick thing happened. Remember, he also got knocked out. So, again, Teddy Bridgewater's career has been tragic, actually. So we don't know. Trey's looking at going to Oakland. They just signed Mariota, though, and they have Derek Carr. They literally just signed Mariota last night. It makes no sense for them to get him and Mariota and have Derek Carr there, unless they're going to trade Derek Carr. But even then, it still makes no sense. Like, basically, Teddy Bridgewater and Mariota is like the same quarterback, essentially, in terms of they could be starters, but they're kind of backups too. Like, that makes no sense. I think he might have been looking at Oakland, but after Mariota got signed last night, I don't think Oakland's a possibility. If you're the Pats, what quarterback do you want? Me personally, if I'm the Patriots, my whole stance was bring back Tom Brady. That's the quarterback that I want, actually. Is to bring back Tom Brady or draft one. That was my whole thing, but I think they're going to look at this 2-year window and try to go through that. So I think what they may end up doing is, if I had to pick out of the quarterbacks that's available, not drafting one, and between Stidham and the quarterbacks available, I would say Teddy Bridgewater, honestly. I would say get Teddy Bridgewater, get him a 2-3 year deal, or, hey, maybe with Jameis Winston. Jameis Winston, actually is the decision-making with Jameis has to be fixed. However, he just got LASIK surgery. He just got 20/20 vision. And if you knew Jameis Winston a little bit, a lot of times he was squinting throwing the football. He couldn't see. So now that he got his vision fixed, maybe that cuts down the decision making on the turnovers, maybe that cuts down the decision making. Jameis Winston's not a bad quarterback. Last year, you can say what you wanted about the 30 and 30. He also threw for 5,000 yards, 30 TDs, 30 interceptions. You cut those interceptions down in half, he's winning MVP, or he's up there for MVP. Because you cut his interceptions in half, they probably win about 3-4 more games. They're probably one of the top seeds in the NFC. And he probably throws a little bit more touchdowns. 5,000 yards, say 35 touchdowns, and 15 interceptions. That's MVP type numbers right there. He could be up there for MVP had he not throw those picks. So Winston just needs to improve. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Winston needs to improve his IQ, but I think it's also too because his vision was just so messed up. He was squinting throwing passes. Like, he's been doing it since college, and he didn't want to wear goggles and stuff. And so now that he has, his vision corrected, hopefully, I think his IQ will be better because I think he won't force some decisions that he thought a guy was open. Yeah. Yeah, Teddy's 27. So, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Teddy's in pretty much his prime right now. And, again, we didn't really get to see Teddy Bridgewater's prime. Like, we didn't get to see him with a top weapon with him to get the chemistry. I felt like Teddy Bridgewater was just coming into his own and we couldn't get a chance to see him. I would sign either Winston or Bridgewater to a cheap 2-year deal. Let either one of them duke it out with Stidham to see. Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying. Like, if now we don't have Tom Brady, I would say draft the quarterback. That's just me personally. But the way that we have, I'm trying to phone. But the way that we have the way that we have the team, who's that saying? He was in the same exact club with Jimmy G. Yeah. He's back in 2014. So, like, Jimmy G, you see Jimmy G now just coming into his own a little bit. Now, again, like I said earlier in the stream, do I feel like when we traded Jimmy G, do I feel like it was a good move? I feel like that was the move to make. Do I feel like that we could have got more? Probably would have traded him earlier, but I think what Belichick was banking on was if you remember at the time, I think Brady's contract was expiring at the end of the year. And I think he was just looking at it as, okay, I could have got more if I trade him off season, but let's see if Brady's actually going to perform well in 2014. And if he's not going to perform well in 2014, then we'll trade Jimmy G then. And I feel like he could have got a little bit more. And I feel like he still wanted Jimmy G, but I think Kraft was just like, this is the last straw. And Belichick just gave him up for free, gave him up for pennies. I want a veteran regardless. Jimmy G trade was terrible. I don't think it was that terrible. I don't think it was that terrible. So you're telling me? So let me ask you this, and I'm gonna come back to the whole. I'm gonna come back to the Jimmy G thing. Yeah, go ahead and explain. I'm gonna see what you say. But with the whole Winston Teddy Bridgewater situation, we've been signing guys to 2-year deal. A lot of contracts are up in about a year or two. So go ahead. And, Belichick feels like this team is ready for that. Let's go ahead, build 2 years. Teddy Bridgewater or Jameis Winston. Let's get them on a 2-3-year deal, and then we'll see where we go from there. If it doesn't work out after a year, you can potentially go try to get a quarterback next year or the year after that. But to me, from what I've seen, this is the year to go get a quarterback. You got Joe Burrow, you got Tua. Jordan Love is not that bad. He's pretty decent. He's been getting a lot of buzz. This could be the year that you get your quarterback. Now, excuse me, I remember I said on Mason Rudolph wouldn't be a bad option for the Patriots, and we're seeing how that's panning out. And it's still early in his career, but I thought Mason Rudolph could have been a potential successor to Tom Brady. So we'll see. You could have kept Jimmy G for that season, tried to get a better offer. He was a free agent the next year. I know because hold on, if I remember correctly, the problem was both of them were going to be free agents. Because they were saying both of them was going to be free agents, and that it was like they're not going to pay 2 quarterbacks, like top dollar. That or his option. I think it was his option. I think that's what it was. It might have been his option. It was his option. So if we would have picked up his option, we basically would have been paying like $40, $50 million in salary between Brady and Jimmy G. I think you're talking about his option, but I just remember the biggest thing was because we basically would have been paying like 40, like damn near half our salary and 2 quarterbacks, and only one of them was going to play. So like we had to get rid of him. It was really between Brady and Jimmy G. Now I'll tell people this, when I talk about the trade. People always say, would you give up 10 years, get at least 10 years for one Super Bowl? There's a lot of teams who haven't won a Super Bowl, and they will give up 10 years for one Super Bowl. We won some, so that's why I think people were willing to get rid of Brady. But I think at that time, Brady was still playing peak level. He said he was going to play to his 45, and he stayed true to that word. He said that since in 2010, he was going to play for another 10 years or so, and people laughed at him. And he's still doing it. Still playing strong. But however, again, with this whole Jimmy G situation, I feel like that was the best. He could have got a better offer. I'm not saying that the offer was perfect, but he could have gotten a better offer. But I feel like trading Jimmy G because, again, at that time, this trade deadline, it's either you trade him now or you let him walk for free. I still believe it was up to Bill. Jimmy G will still be here. Yeah, no. I'm saying, like, I think Bill was holding on to Jimmy G because he wanted him to be there, but he also wanted to show Kraft, like, look, Brady's not going to play well in 2014. We got this guy. We can move on from Brady. And I feel like that's kind of what Kraft's decision-making, too, was a little bit, because I think Kraft respects both of them. He loves Brady like a son, though. So I think when the option to trade him in the offseason came up, Kraft didn't mess up. He didn't mess up. It was a guy staying there for 20 years. And that's the thing, too. A guy staying there for 20 years is something that doesn't really happen, especially in sports. That's a guy playing 20 years at all. That's been playing for one team. That's pretty hard, and it takes a lot. It takes a lot of sacrifice. It takes a lot of guts and stuff to do that. Now he has 2 years left, and maybe he just wants to, decide where he wants to do for his 2 years. But But yeah, in terms of the whole Jimmy G thing, I don't have a problem with it. Again, we gave up 10 years or so for two Super Bowl appearances. One of them we won. And like I tell people, especially after this Super Bowl, do you feel like that Jimmy G could have been in the Eagles game, been close to the Eagles game? Like, do you feel like he could have did the same thing Brady did against the Eagles, throw for 500 yards? Same thing against the Rams. Because although Brady, Crab did mess up, you let your fan get in the way of the future. Crab did mess up, you let your fan get in the way. I wouldn't even say it's my fan. I wouldn't even call it fandom. I would just say that you got to think about it in terms. You got to think of everything else. You got to think of the full thing. Why do you think after there was rumors of Bill leaving? That's no. Why do you think after that there was rumors of Bill leaving? Obviously, Bill was hurt by it. You know, he was hurt. He thought that Crab because and I explained this in the video before. I said that whole situation was something that has never been done because anytime Belichick said, "Yo, Crab, we're gonna move from this guy a year early," you know, that Crab said, "Cool, we're gonna move from that. We're gonna keep going. Keep going." I believe you. When he brought Brady up, that's when it was like, "Yo, hold on real quick. He's done a lot for us. He's taken a lot of pay cuts. He's done this. He's done that." So that whole situation was difficult, and you had to draw a line in the sand. Like, so basically, Kraft was like, I could. Either way, it wasn't one. It was heading for a crash course, and hell no, it ain't Stidham. Well, it may be Stidham time, but I don't want Stidham. I don't want Stidham time. I'd rather take Bridgewater or James, but but you know, it was headed for a crash course for that, and now you know, looking back at it, that was one of the main reasons why I think this whole thing was headed. But again, people don't play that long in the NFL, so Bill's thinking was he's not going to play that long. He's not going to be this good for this long. And Brady just happened just to keep performing, MVP level. I think he won the MVP like 2-3 years ago, 2017. Yeah, the year we went to the Eagles Super Bowl. So him just keep performing. So you know, it's kind of hard, man. It's a tricky situation. But again, look at it. How many guys in the NFL played for 16 years with one team? It's difficult. You can say the same thing with the whole Jerry Rice, Terrell Owens thing. You know, you can say that T.O. was the reason why that Jerry Rice is there because Jerry Rice felt like that they was looking at the future more and they was trying to push him out there. Again, you don't play in the NFL for that long of a year for one team. It's very, very difficult that you did, especially a team that's winning a lot. It's very difficult, especially with a guy like Belichick who's always thinking a year early rather than a year late. So when that whole Jimmy G situation happened, was that the right thing? I still feel like that was right. I don't think nobody messed up. I just think that nature ran its course and you had to make a decision. Either way, you're going to mess them up. Yeah. As saying, but we both know Bill business always been a thing. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, Bill's whole thought process was a year ahead. But as I said before, this was a different case. Like before a year ahead, yes, you could say Randy Moss didn't want to conform to the system. He didn't want to be a second, third option to Rob Gronkowski in the 2-tight set. Yes, you could say Richard Seaver's getting a little bit older. He hasn't performed the same. Yes, you could say Mike Vrabel, you know, once Kansas City Chiefs want to build a culture over there, Mike Vrabel's getting a little bit older, hasn't been able to perform the same. Yes, you can get rid of that. You can say that with everybody else. But when it came to the quarterback, the most important position on the team, and the guy that's constantly taking pay cuts, the guy that won you multiple Super Bowls, the one that's brought you back into multiple games and multiple Super Bowls, you can't just get rid of that. It takes a lot, and so again, it took a lot. I mean, yeah. I mean, we can agree to disagree. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm not saying that I'm wrong. I'm not saying you're right. I'm not saying that I'm right. I'm just giving you my perspective of it. So, you know, it is what it is, man. Like I said, we can agree to disagree. That's why we have these conversations. That's why we have these dialogue. And I'm not upset or mad about anything you said. It's just, you know, we just having a conversation, having a dialogue. We have different opinions. Eggs can egos. I thought you said eggs. Egos can be a big part of either keeping or something. And that's what I'm saying, John. I feel like eventually you're winning a lot. You have a lot of success. And then regardless of how they want to do, regardless of however they feel, those two will be like this. In history, you will not be able to talk about Tom Brady without Bill Belichick. And until one wins without the other. People can talk about Belichick was this great coach or something. How people bring up the fact that Bill Belichick didn't do anything before Brady as a head coach for the Cleveland Browns. When Bledsoe was there, they went to Super Bowl and stuff, but they didn't do really anything until Brady got there. People bring that up. And when you talk about Tom Brady, people say, well, Bill had this record with Matt Castle. They went 11-5. He went 3-1 when Brady was suspended in 2014. So they're going to be tied together at the hip for the rest of life, for the rest of eternity. So, the Eagles did play a part of it. The Eagles played a part of it, and it's unfortunate, but here's what it is. Kid, where you been at? I've been streaming for almost an hour. Like, where you been at? Good winning this year. Yeah, that's always going to be the great debate. Oh, man. KDG, man. Kid has finally entered the chat. I'm actually I really was probably about to end the stream within the next 5-10 minutes or so, because I've been going for an hour and I got to get to work. But circumstances had to be made. So, sacrifice had to be made. What's good, show out? Nice seeing you. I mean, show out's a Titans fan. I was saying that Brady would probably go to the Titans. The Titans didn't want him. They died 10-0. So we'll see how that works out. Yep, it's gonna be a new chapter. It has to be written for the 2020 Patriots. Yeah, and who knows? Maybe we still go to the playoffs next year. Maybe we squeak our way into the playoffs. We'll know more about the draft time. But yeah, this year is going to be different. This hurts. I already shedded my thug tears earlier today before the stream when I found the news. Yeah. So wait, is that official or is that what you're saying? I want Teddy Bridgewater to the Patriots. That's the guy I want. Oh yeah. That's my that's who I want us to bring in. I want us to get Teddy Bridgewater. I want us to bring in Teddy Bridgewater for about a 2-3 year deal, fairly cheap. We're getting about, well, shoot, I don't know what cheap is now because the way the cap situation. I thought 15 mil was cheap, but I thought 20 mil was a lot, but apparently that's cheap. So who knows? But we bring Teddy Bridgewater in for like a 2-3 year deal. I'll be okay with that. We got a lot of guys on like this has like a year or two left on their contract. So by the time that they're up, we'll just be able to fully rebuild and stuff. But yeah, it's gonna be interesting. Am I gonna draft the quarterback? I don't know. See, my whole logic was bring back Brady or draft the quarterback. But the way that they're building, the way that our cap situations look, I think Bill believes that this team is a championship winning team potentially, and they have like a 2-year window. And so, although they don't have Brady, they want to bring in a veteran. So, I don't know if we're going to necessarily draft the quarterback because we just drafted Stidham last year. I'm not that high on Stidham. I don't think he's that good, but I mean, hey, maybe Bill Belichick is high on him and he thinks that he's the answer. But I don't think he's the answer. I didn't like him coming out of college. Definitely didn't like him after we put him in the game. If Bill Belichick was trying to slowly try to groom him, and it just seemed like every time he went into the game, he just messed up. So I'm not a big fan of it. I'm not a big fan. So yeah, man. I've been talking for like an hour. Jesus. Drafting two quarterbacks in as many years is a bad sign for the team. Facts, yeah. You draft the quarterback twice. Well, I don't know. The Cardinals were poverty. They were bad, but remember, they drafted Rosen, who I still think Rosen has never got a fair shake. That's just me. Like, shoot, we can get Josh Rosen for listen. You can say what you want. I like Josh Rosen coming out of college. I thought coming out in that job class, I thought he was the most NFL ready quarterback, I would say. I just don't think he got a fair shake. I think some of it is on him, but I don't think he necessarily got a fair shake. So hey, we can get Josh Rosen for a 6th-round pick. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying. It look like a young Roger. You know what I mean? But yeah. But the Cardinals, when they took Kyler Murray, I questioned that because I was like, you just drafted Rosen. But, it all worked out, though. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. I'll listen to Post Malone. Goodbye. Man, listen to some sad songs today, man. Like I said. Man. It's really hitting, man. It's really hitting. No more Brady. Damn. Stidham was like, I've been slandering Stidham. What you mean? I've been. This ain't nothing new. I've been slandering Stidham. Stidham slander been in full effect since last year. I didn't like him. Nah, I should have thugged Tier earlier because I was just getting out of the shower when the news broke. I should have thugged Tier before I started the stream. And when I started talking earlier in the stream, I had to hold back tears a little bit. But I ain't gonna hit, man. It ain't gonna hit. I'm gonna tell you right now. I'm gonna tell you when it's gonna hit me. It ain't gonna hit me till later. Like when I load up Madden and I see the Patriots roster and I don't see Tom Brady, like to start on, just be like, damn. When I see Tom Brady take that field or in training camp, I'll be like, damn. And that's the fun. Yeah, so that's the thing too. Kid having this fun now. Kid is laughing right now. But we all know when Aaron Rodgers leaves, he's gonna feel this hurt. He's going to feel this hurt because he wasn't a Packer fan during the Favre era. So he slanders Brett Favre. Don't know why he's the best quarterback in Packer history, but he slanders Brett Favre, and he's gonna keep slandering him. He was a part of the Favre era. When Rodgers leaves, it's going to hit. I'm saying right now, it hurts me, man, because like, oh man, especially me, Brady's like my whole lifetime. Brady's been the quarterback. It's gonna be different, and it's crazy because like let's see, man, I'm heading out, but we got the Patriots. We're moving on. We missed time. Yeah, man. Appreciate you, John. Appreciate everything. I'm actually about to head out. But yeah, man, like it's really gonna hit me, like seeing him in a different uniform, wherever it is. But like people, like I was telling people, my name is the Great Patriot. I named myself that for one or two reasons. I always like the word great. I just always love that. But the Patriot just because I'm just a big Patriot fan. And I told people, like, people asked me like years ago when that was my name, and it was like, what are you gonna do when Tom Brady leaves? I said, I'm still gonna be a Patriot fan. I said, this is like me holding myself to it, making my name, making my brand about the Patriots. And I still love the Patriots, you know. So back of so much talent and shit. Man. A little spicy there. See, that's the thing. So Tom Brady probably. I wouldn't be opposed to getting that. Like, I haven't had the Tom Brady jersey since I was younger, just because in my head I'm like, sure, you're gonna be around forever. But now I gotta get it. I gotta get a Tom Brady jersey. I think the last Patriot jersey I got was a Gronkowski jersey. So now I gotta get a Brady jersey. Hopefully, my prayer right now is hopefully the Brady jersey go on sale. Hopefully they go on sale, but I'm gonna need to get me a Brady jersey soon, ASAP, because as soon as Mitchell and Ness get a hand on them, make it a retro, that joint gonna go about $150, $200, and that's a lot of money. It's a lot of bread right there. That's a lot of bread right there. Brady jersey. I actually don't even have his jersey right now. It's back at home in my parents' place. I don't necessarily have anything I would feel like taking off the wall now. Actually, you know what? Hold on. Go. There we go. It actually works. I'm in the process of moving, so that's why I have to take this off. Brady, you did good, man. He was the GOAT. The GOAT will forever live on in this uniform. He bought us a lot of work. However, in the end, you decided to leave. Had your heart set. Now, I don't even know why I took this off, because I don't even know where I'm going to put it in. Now, we move on to a new era. That was stupid. I don't know why I took this off. Now I got to actually put this up. So, all right, y'all. That's it for the video. Appreciate y'all coming through for the live stream, man. I know I typically don't like doing live streams. I typically don't stream for this long, but certain circumstances. I may do a video later after this hit me, but this is just my initial thoughts just after. I know people was asking for it. But yeah, man, I'm about to get my Brady jersey soon. Then I'm probably going to get another jersey whenever it is. Another reason why I haven't got a jersey. Jersey is so expensive. So expensive. Brady signs a 2-year deal. Wish that was fucking. You know what? That should have been Brady. 2. Wait, hold on. 2 years, 50 million. Oh man. Oh yeah. I'm done. Oh yeah. I'm in the stream. I'm in the stream right now.